Foster.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you with us for another chapter in the never-ending saga of glassblowing. And so what we're going to be making for you today is a pitcher with a spout and a handle, and it's going to be in a mountain blue color, which is a half tone of the cobalt blue.
Okay, now hold on just one second, because I saw the little handle motion and I saw the little spout motion. Now you got to sing the song.
No.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my
spout.
Okay, and we're off to a roaring start at the Art of Fire this morning. Okay, so there we go. Foster's going to make us a traditional pitcher. So, cobalt blue, sounds great.
There you go.
All righty, here we go.
Good.
Okay, and while Foster's getting his iron and getting the color picked up, I'll give you just a little bit of additional information we'd like to share with you. And if you want to tune in to our Facebook presentation at 11 a.m., we're on Facebook Live. We'll have more of an explanation of this. But several months ago, we had a fundraiser where we raised money for No Kids Hungry. And we're going to do the same type of thing again, but we're going to feature these cats. And this is what Todd calls the Maryland colors. And since we've been associated with the Maryland Renaissance Fair for years, and because we are in the state of Maryland, we'll be using these colors on the cats. And they're available only within the month of March. They're $60 each. Half of each cat's price will go toward the charity No Kid Hungry. International shipping will cost a little bit extra, and there'll be a limited edition. They'll be signed and numbered, and we'll have more information on that on our other broadcast. But right now, we'll get right back to Foster here so you can see what's going on.
That's a U.S. price, by the way. Shipping anywhere in the U.S.
Yeah, shipping in the U.S.
Right.
International is extra. Okay.
Cool.
So Foster's picked up a piece of cobalt blue on the end of his blowing iron, and he's melting that in right now. And in just a couple moments, he'll bring it over to the marver, the metal table that we use, making sure there's no dust on it. And he'll just roll the pipe along, and that will shape the glass. After he gets it shaped on the sides, he taps the ends so that it isn't blown out too much. And now with a little bit of pressurized air and his finger over the blowpipe, we'll see that that bubble expands out into the glass. And there it is. Okay, so you got a pretty good sized chunk of cobalt blue right there. And he'll let that cool just a little bit and then take it down for another gather.
There you go.
Wonderful.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Good.
If you've got any questions, I see there's 6 of you out there with us. One of you even gave us a thumbs up. Go ahead and ask any questions you may have. Just comment. We enjoy having you here with us. This will be about a 20 or 30 minute presentation, and then we'll switch over to the Facebook Live. But we're happy to be here with you on YouTube right now. And these will be posted on our page, so you can review them later if you like. If you're in the process of making your own pitcher, good morning, Lynn and Bridget. Hey, Steve Ellis. Hello again from England. Well, great to have you with us. All righty, so Foster's gathered from our furnace, and we melt clear glass in that furnace, clear only. We add color to the clear in one way or another. This particular way that he's done it is he took a solid chunk of cobalt blue, and then he surrounded that with clear glass.
See Bridget?
Yeah. So now he's going to use the cherry wood block and shape the glass. You can see that due to the fluidity of the glass and the fact that the gravity was pulling it toward the floor, it just needed a little stabilization. The wooden cup does that. You can see the steam rising. The cups are kept in water, and the steam acts almost like a lubricant, like a bed for the glass to roll on. Foster will pressurize the air in the pipe again, and you can see that interior pore expand. So now he's got his first gather on here. and he'll block it a little bit just to shape it and also cool it. It's not a good idea to go gather immediately after getting the glass blown out like that. We need to let it cool a little bit. If we go in too soon, the extreme heat of the 2,000 degree glass that we pick up would cause the bubble to shrink and collapse, and he'd be back to the starting point. And since he's already started, he doesn't want to start twice, right? Okay. All right, so off he goes for another gather. We'll go on down here and watch the process a little bit. Now he's putting up an iron that'll be used in a few moments to make the punty or pontal. And right now we'll see if we can take a little look inside the furnace. It's very bright. It's also very hot. Runs at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 365 days a year, unless we have to take it down for maintenance. He's got glass on the end of the pipe, and he's got the perfect gather. I was just going to say, if he came out with a little too much, he'd strip some off, but he didn't need to do that today. Now he's putting it into what's called a pipe cooler. It's a small trough with water flowing through it, and that cools the stainless steel pipe. Quite often we get questions about how hot is the pipe, or how is it you hold that without burning your hands. Part of it's due to the fact that it's stainless steel. And stainless steel is not a good conductor of heat. So the pipe is very, very hot, up for about the first 12 to 14 inches. And you can actually see where the pipe's been burned a little bit. Hey, Steve Byers? Good to see you. Okay, so now Foster's turning the pipe, shaping the gather of glass with his jacks and getting a taper to it. What this is going to help him do is get things ready to go into the optic mold and blow. He wants kind of a large squat shape because he's going to be going into this mold right over here, the one nearest to you in the picture. So we shape the glass to try to mimic the shape of the interior of the mold, and he'll get it really hot so it almost drips right down in. He'll blow really hard, and when it comes out, the ridges that you see in the mold will be imparted to the glass. So he puts that down in there. You can see it's already about the right diameter to fit in there by squashing it down just a little bit, blowing, tapping the pipe, and there we go with the ridges in the glass. And that's from the optic mold. For those of you might know, for those of you that might not have been with us before, an optic mold is so called because it just places optic impressions in the glass. It is not a mold for shaping the final design of the piece. He's rolling this on the metal table, the marver, to cool the tip. And when we heat the glass in what's called the glory hole, the reheating of it, the heat's applied 365 degrees around the glass. So if we want a portion of it cooled, we have to find another way to make that cool, and that's what Foster just did. Why, you may ask, did he want to not heat the whole thing? And I'm glad you almost did ask that, because he doesn't want the piece to blow out the bottom. So you can see that he's got a conical shape on the bottom, and now he's going to start working it. So, into the glory hole, it's basically a round ceramic tube with no glass in it, and a burner attached to it, and it runs at about 22 to 2300 degrees. This helps us reheat the glass. We've got a minute or so of working time when we return to the bench, but once the glass starts to lose heat to the tune of about 300 degrees Fahrenheit or so, it gets harder to work. Foster's using his jacks to create a line near the pipe, a constriction. This is where the piece will eventually be removed from the blowpipe. 4.5 foot piece of steel attached. Cool the bottom of the piece, and we'll get him here, and he blows it out into a nice spherical shape with a nice thick bottom. This newspaper over here is folded about, it's probably about 7 sheets of newsprint, folded to a compact shape about 8 inches by 8 inches, and it's soaked in water, and that allows it to be a perfect insulator. So he can use that to cool portions. Now you can see that he's got heat throughout the piece, and by using centripetal force, he'll swing it out, He always wanted to be an airplane mechanic, so now he's doing his profession, and he's elongated the glass. Most of the pieces we make are created by having a sphere with a jack line in it, and then using gravity or centrifugal force to reshape the glass. He's blown it out some to a more bulbous bottom, and he's back to the bench now, and what we'll see him do is shaping the bottom of the piece. A reinforcement of the jack line or neckline first. And he'll use what we call paper pegs. Foster's one of the few artists around the country that uses these. We've got a friend, David McDermott, up in Massachusetts that uses that type of thing. They're cardboard tubes, basically. They don't steal as much heat. He's using a wooden paddle to flatten the bottom. And he'll get a little dimple in the bottom because we're about to break this piece intentionally. He's going to break it from the blowpipe and put it onto a punty, it's called. Josh Reese is now going to flash or give the piece momentary reheats. This will keep it nice and warm, well above 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so that it doesn't crack. Foster right now is making what we call a punty or pontal. He's got a little bit of glass on the end of a pipe. It'll be like a little stick of hot glue that will stick to the bottom of the pitcher. Most of our pieces are made by forming the lower half to 2/3 of a vessel first and then finishing it up. He's got a file that he'll dip in water. He'll place it under the pipe to help him get it right in the center of the bottom. When he makes that attachment, he'll turn both irons. He gets that in the center, he scores the neck, and then a light tap right on the, and it comes off. And that's what we call a transfer. That's usually one of the hold your breath moments in the glass making process, just to make sure you accomplish that correctly. Now that glass was cold enough to fracture. It's going to take a little while to get it back up to heat. And that's why Foster is only heating the very end of the piece. He's got the bottom half of this pitcher already formed. So now he's going to begin to work on the top half of the pitcher, so he needs to make that hot. It's cobalt blue, Steve. Cobalt blue for the color. So around here, which I'm proud to say that I coined, hot glass moves. Cold glass. The rest of the folks in the studio groaning at that one. Okay, so right now he's getting the end of the piece, the lip or the opening hot. He'll return to the bench and you'll be able to see where the heat's located by the bright color. He's going to spin it out just a little bit here. Is this a Ewer spout, Foster, or
No.
Traditional? Traditional? Okay. All righty. So he'll use his jacks. That's the pair of metal blades to open it up a little bit, and then a pair of straight shears, and they're actually duck-billed shaped so that they don't pinch the glass as it goes around and cuts. When the glass is hot, there's your duck bills. Now, Foster's a real quacker. Okay, so when the glass is hot, it's very easy to cut. As soon as it starts to cool off, though, you got to go get a reheat. Again, heating the top of the vessel only, and you can see how the bottom half of the vessel is all the way out of the glory hole. Glory hole is simply a heating oven, runs at about 2,300 degrees so we can get this back in the glass quickly and make it malleable. After he gets the top hot, he's going to open it up a good bit so that the throat of the vessel is wide or open, and then he'll get ready to do the spout work. So by using the jack blades and pressing against the glass, you can see that he's increased the diameter of the throat. And he's starting to flare the lip just a little bit now, but he's going to go back for another reheat in a moment more. You can see the color really showing at the bottom of the piece, what near the punty attachment. And now he's going to flare that lip more so that he and Josh can work together to put a spout into it. Well, actually, they're not going to put a spout into it. They're creating a spout out of the glass that's there. All right, so he's going to get a lot of heat in that. You're going to see the upper 3 to 4 inches of this piece glowing orange. And he'll use a special pair of jacks that are made of Teflon. They don't steal the heat. And he gets the lip flared out a good bit more. So now he's ready to come back, and he and Josh are going to work on putting the spout in. So they're going to use They're going to use a carbon bar. It's on the bench right here. Foster's going to return to the bench with the lip of the glass hot, probably about the top 2 inches. He'll pick a place, insert the carbon bar into the opening, and have Josh pinch the glass around it. When Josh squeezes and pulls down, that creates the spout. And now if it was distorted at all from that motion, Foster will simply reset it, make sure the top is round, and it is. No distortion, and there we go. He's going to hand it off to Josh for another flash, because the last element of this is going to be to put a handle on it. Foster will take a couple of gathers of clear glass from our furnace. He'll come back and he'll shape it, and you can see that Josh is just flashing it for a few seconds, and he'll probably do that another time or two before Foster makes his way back. This is to keep the temperature well up above 1,000 degrees so the glass doesn't crack. Foster's coming back. He'll shape the handle on the Marver, and Josh heads to the bench with the piece. The glass is not elongated to its full length of the handle right now. He's going to pull up on it and let it fall just a little bit too. Now he pulls up, and then he begins to thin the glass out, and then he cuts it. Josh turns it 180 degrees. Foster's able to sight down the lower edge of the piece and align the top of the handle with the attachment point for the bottom. He'll use the carbon bar again now to set the handle against the side of the pitcher. And he just pulls up against it like that. And once he begins to get it where he wants, he'll go on over, get another door open on the glory hole, and shape the handle, its final shaping. Just a few heats. The body of the pitcher needs to be warmed, but it can't get hot. You don't want it distorted. And there's enough heat left in the handle that he can take his final shaping by pulling up and creating an arc. A great place for your hand to go and pour from this beautiful pitcher. If you'd like to purchase this one, contact us at artofire.com. Give us a call at 301-253-6642, and we're here and would love to talk to you. So the last step of the glass blowing process, or glass making process, is the longest, and that's the annealing. This is going to have to go into an annealing oven, which will gradually lower the temperature. If we were to put this piece on the floor after completion, inside of about 20 or 30 minutes, it'd be in many, many pieces. The rapid cooling would cause the glass to tear itself apart. Foster will use a gloved hand to catch it with a tap of the putty iron. It comes off, and there it is, and away into the annealing oven. All right, there we go. So the annealers are those big brick boxes along the back wall. We're going to have to leave you here in just a moment, but before we do, I would like to mention again that we're doing a charity fundraiser. We did this back around December, I think, originally, but we used different pieces. So this is called Cats for Kids, and if you tune in to our Facebook Live presentation in about 10 minutes, you will hear more about it. But these cats in what we're calling the Maryland colors will sell for $60 each, half of which will go to the charity No Kid Hungry. And international shipping would be extra, and the price in US dollars. Limited editions, they'll be signed and numbered. So if you want any more information on that, contact us. And all this stuff you see in the background is what we're going to, well, not all of it will we be doing, but they're examples of what we'll be doing in just about 6 minutes. So thanks for joining us, and have a good day.